All right, good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here, and today we're going to be going over your online presence. So it's something that we don't often think about, but it is a very important aspect of our marketing. So it's something that we have to take a look at, and I recommend that we look at it at least once a quarter because Google does do some goofy stuff, and they change up their algorithms, and they do some, interesting behind the scenes kind of stuff, and that affects the search results pages. So this will be a very informative webinar. And before we get into today's discussion, we're going to bring our corporate broker, Bill Seitz, on the line. Good morning, Bill. How are you doing today?
There we go. I'm unmuted. I'm doing great, Kevin. How are you doing today?
All right, near perfect.
I'd like to hear that. How was your trip?
Trip was great. Went over to Hawaii, got to hang out with a friend that owns a ranch on the Big Island up on the Kohala Coast, and so that was incredible. It's got 15,000 acres. He runs about 4,000 cows, and so that was pretty cool to go see. So that was cool, and then
Heck
popped
yeah.
over to Kauai and spent 4 days over there. So it was a great trip, Bill.
Heck yeah. Well, you know what? Everybody needs a break once in a while. And even though we didn't have our webinar last week, it's good to be back. And there's a lot going on. So I love this topic today, Kevin. I think this is an overlooked piece to the marketing puzzle and just kind of overlaps in with your, like you said, your online, profile and who decides and who doesn't decide to maybe do business with you, right?
100%. People, that's a strange world we live in. People can, get a sense of who you are and what you do and your personality just by checking you out online. So we'll take a look at what that looks like. Before we get too far into today's deal, today we're going to start a little bit of a tradition. Bill has suggested that we take a look at something kind of humorous on Wednesday mornings. And so tell us about what you got queued up for us, buddy.
Well, it's Wednesday, it's hump day, it's middle of the week. We do these webinars. We want to bring as much useful information to you guys in a short amount of time, make it quick, efficient, but in an effort to constantly change and adapt and evolve. I'm on some funny little threads with some other real estate partners, or people in the business, via Instagram and stuff. And so we send each other funny memes about real estate, real estate in general. And so I don't know if that one, this one's pretty funny. If you can make that bigger, Kevin, but we wanted to start off the morning with some humor about our industry. We can have a laugh at ourselves and also maybe have a little cry about some of these scenarios that we get put that we get put into. But I can see it a little bit. Can you? Is it bit? Can you make it bigger?
No, I can't, but we can listen to the audio. Let's see if we can do the audio here.
I'll see you next time. We should do this every day, twice a day. We should get together twice a day. I'll see.
That's pretty good, Bill.
So this one's really funny because anybody who's working with buyers right now and is frustrated and has shown a million properties, and the buyer hasn't written an offer, or you're just having trouble getting something accepted, we've all can relate. We've all been there. In this scenario, the agent, she's you know we should do this every day, 3 times a day.
Yeah,
Um,
let's do this
so
every day, every
we've all
day, please.
been there. It's actually really funny. And I think there was one more, right, Kevin?
That was the only one I got. Let me see if there was another one. Hold, please.
But anyways, we're gonna just share some funny stuff. As we can relate to the. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about that. But we just want to do something different, right?
100%.
Anyways, Kevin, on the I hope everyone's getting the. Can you hear me, Kev?
Yeah, you're kind of garbled for a
Kevin, is
second.
my audio working? Sorry. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's working.
It says it is.
Off and on.
Weird. Maybe bring Debbie on and I'll jump back.
Yeah, your audio is not all that awesome today. So we're going to give you a second or two. And so we're going to bring on Debbie from Clearview Mortgage. 1 second. Let's bring on Debbie. There we are. Debbie, good morning. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Good morning, Debbie.
Okay, there you are. Good morning. Good morning. So I am going to be just touching base on a subject that doesn't come up too often, but VA loans. And just a little note for the realtors out there, VA loans are one of the easiest loans to do. They're the most forgiving in a lot of ways. You know, we could go as low as a 580 credit score. Even if we don't get an approved eligible on the DU findings, DU is the automated approval system through Fannie Mae, that every single loan gets run on, every single conventional VA and FHA loan anyway, gets run on. We have to run it through the automated approval system through Fannie Mae. We want to try to get an approved eligible. Sometimes I've gotten an approved refer, and that just means there's something on the credit that isn't that attractive. But when you take an overall look at the whole file, not just the credit score, but maybe the longevity in employment, or they're retired and, you know, they have longevity in where they live. Some, you know, they have reserves in the bank, even though another really neat thing about VA loans is that, you know, the veteran has an opportunity to purchase a home with zero down payment, no down payment. And we always have to check their VA eligibility with their DD 214 to see if they are going to be eligible to have a funding fee waived. A funding fee is added to the loan of every VA loan unless the veteran is eligible to have it waived. This usually means that, and you can ask them, you know, and in fact, every client that you work with, I would be asking them, hey, are you a veteran? You know, they are not going to have shaved heads and a uniform on when you're looking at them. They could be, you know, they kind of look like a little hippie. They could be a United airline captain, you know, or retired captain, which I've done loans for. You can't just judge by their appearance that they ever were in the service or not. So I would ask them because they get benefits. Interest rates are much lower on a VA loan, and qualifying is so much better. And if they are eligible to get that funding fee waived, the neat thing is that the funding fee is basically something that's added to the loan. It's a percentage of the loan amount that's added to the loan. And most of the time when a veteran is eligible to get that waive, they have had some sort of disability of some sort. It could be something very minor to something very major with the VA. So they would have had to like go to the VA hospital or emergency or see a VA doctor for something. It could be loss of hearing. It may not even be something that you physically can see about them. They don't have a limp or anything like that. There's other disabilities that veterans can get credit for through the VA, and this makes them eligible to have that funding fee waived. And like I was saying, most veterans or all veterans can get a home loan with zero down payment, but they also can put a down payment if they want. You know, maybe they bought their first house with 0 down payment, like one of my sons. And then when he bought his second house, he actually had a down payment because he made equity on the first house to buy the second house. So they can put a down payment if, you know, if they like. The other neat thing is these days right now, I mean, back in the day, like 2-3 years ago, we were able to cover their closing costs even with a 650 credit score. But these days, most of the time we can cover closing costs with credit scores over 700. So we can get a rebate from the lender, and that helps cover their closing costs. And of course, sellers can also cover veterans' closing costs. It's not mandatory, but they can do that. So some of the myths are that the seller has to pay the veterans' closing costs. That is not true. They don't have to. We can find ways, like with a rebate, to cover those non-allowable charges. The other thing is, you know, they're really super tough on appraisals. You know, kind of a little bit more than conventional loans. So, you know, if it's a really super fixer-upper home where there's holes in the walls, broken windows, that kind of thing, probably don't want to go with a VA loan. But in any case, other than that, oh, and the other thing that is a little bit different with VA loans is that the termite report and completion or clearance is mandatory on every single VA loan. Mandatory. You can't waive it. So that's probably the only nuance that might be a hindrance. But other than that, we can close VA loans in 2 to 3 weeks. We can, you know, they're just so easy to do. I would be asking every potential client that you're working with, ask them if they're a veteran, because they get like almost a full % better in the interest rate. It's amazing. Anyway, that's my little piece. If you want more information about the VA loans, or really any kind of loan, you know, I've been doing loans for almost 30 years. It's what I've done my whole life. I got ideas. I got stuff, you know, that's good stuff. So give me a call and have a wonderful week.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Debbie. Appreciate that. She's our loan expert. So switching gears here, and before we switch gears, I want to also just shout out to a lot of our new agents. We have a lot of new agents on the line today. Alan, Sarah, Azar, Aftia, Toby, Shannon, and Sharon, all brand new agents with us. Welcome to ARG. Glad to have you here. And another small reminder that we do have Legacy Escrow, and we have our lovely Raquel Bauer that is doing a great job for a lot of our agents. And so if you have a new listing and you need to open an escrow, or you're going to have any escrow questions, you can definitely reach out to Raquel Bauer. So let's move gears. So today we're going to be talking about your online presence, and the title of our webinar is, you know, what do you look like online? Because inevitably, most of our business, as we know, is going to be some form of referral, even if we do, you know, online marketing and, you know, somebody finds us through our marketing efforts. 9 times out of 10, they're going to do some investigating. And what do people do? Well, they go to Google and they type in your name and the word realtor and or the city that you live in. And so, and this is Rhonda Butler. She's one of our agents that's been with us for quite a while. I want to say 6 years. So Rhonda is one of our veterans, and she's done a great job of owning I call this your digital real estate, right? So Rhonda has made sure that when somebody Googles her name, she has taken advantage of her digital real estate, and she's basically, you know, controlling it. So you don't want, you know, stuff that pop up that you are not in control of when you're doing, you know, your marketing and when you're creating your digital footprint. So you want to make sure that you are creating as much content on the internet that you control as humanly possible. So the real cool thing here is you'll notice that all these different spots are places where you can, you know, Zillow, you can create your own profile, and it's free. They'll try to sell you all kinds of stuff, but you can create a free profile. Same thing with Facebook. So all of these are basically, most of them are free things that realtors can fill out online, and they can make sure that they have all of their information that's correct. So a thing that I see a ton, especially when realtors change brokerages, is they will forget that they'll have information on the internet that may not be correct. So you might have, you know, information out there that is reflecting you with a different brokerage, or, you know, a wrong phone number, or a wrong address. So periodically, it is my recommendation that at least, you know, once a quarter, we do this exercise, and we go ahead and we make sure that we Google our name, Google the word realtor, and even variations, you know, Rhonda Butler, realtor, Rhonda Butler, real estate. You just want to know what kind of information is out there. So a huge part of that, of course, is just taking advantage and making sure that you fill out your profiles on all these different sites, and just go down the line: Zillow, Facebook, MLS listings, Elevate site. That, of course, is Rhonda's Elevate website. That's her IDX website. And then homes.com, realtor.com. This is also her Elevate website. Rhonda Butler Sells Homes. And so you'll see that these Elevate websites, they are ranking very, very quickly. These are brand new to us, but they are definitely ranking highly on the search engine results page. What does that tell you? That tells you that they have good SEO power. So, and a little bit later in my presentation, I'll go over, you know, the most important things to do on your personal website to take advantage of that SEO power. But you can also see, as we go down the list, LinkedIn, you know, Instagram, and this is, of course, you know, probably something that is old, right? So we want to make sure that, you know, and it might not even be, you know, us. You know, a lot of times other realtors have the same name as us. But we want to do as much as we can. And this is, of course, that's Rhonda. And so we just want to make sure that as much as humanly possible, we're filling out our information on all these different spots. And so, you know, and literally do this exercise and make a list. Okay, I need to be on Pinterest. I need to be on Instagram. I need to be on LinkedIn. I need to have my personal website. I need to have my realtor.com profile filled out, homes.com, MLS listings, or whatever your MLS is, of course, Facebook, Zillow. And so that's a really nice, quick consolidated list of highly important websites where you need to have your information, and you need to make sure that your information is correct. So part of that is, of course, reviews. So this is maybe the most important part. So as we do this exercise, we'll notice that Google has made these special little stars. And so they will offer these stars where that, if that website is a site that records reviews. So one thing that is very, very awesome when somebody does this search is immediately they see Rhonda Butler and they see 6 Google reviews, all 5 stars. They also see the same thing on Zillow. 10 votes, 5 stars. Same thing on Facebook. So having that really good presence and having, you know, as many stars or as many votes as possible is a very, very good way to promote yourself and make sure that when people do that Google search, they see something positive and they don't see horrible ratings and they don't see horrible reviews. So with that said, of course, we can't please everybody. And there is absolutely a very good possibility that we will have an experience with a client and something will happen and they may post a bad review on any one of these sites, Zillow, Facebook, Google. So we need to be insulated from that. And so I do, I've done webinars completely devoted to this topic. But the basics are that we do want to make sure that we are asking for our clients to not just give us reviews, but to ask our clients for feedback. So we ask for feedback, that comes back in the form of a review, and then we can use those reviews as testimonials in our marketing. So we never want to say, hey, write me a review, right? I mean, you can, especially if it's a good friend or a relative or something like that, and when you've worked with them. But a polite way to build these reviews is to ask for feedback from your clients. And so this little button right here, write a review, that's an easy thing. I'm not going to click on it. Well, here, I'll do it. So if you click on that, you'll have to sign in. And then you'll be able to write a review instantly. So what a very cool technique is to click on that. It produces a link. And then we're able to send that link to our clients in an email saying, hey, would you mind providing some feedback for me? You can also put that in your signature line in your email. There's a lot of different things that you can do with that link, and it's literally right there, write a review. So that is the way that Rhonda Butler looks online. Here's another one of our agents, Crystal Burns. Same thing. She's done a great job of taking control of her online footprint. This is her. She's built 11 reviews, 11 5-star reviews. That looks awesome, right? Same thing with Keith Powers. Keith Powers looks awesome. When you Google his name, he's got everything dialed in. Notice Mashvisor is a different, one that we didn't see come up in the search results pages on the previous one. The real estate book, he does a lot of vacation rental sales. And so he's got some other things that he'll pop up for. Ann Harris, same thing, looks great when you Google her name. So all very, very well done, creating their online footprint. Really, really, they've done a good job. So now I want to share with you guys a couple of tips on how to, maximize some of this online stuff. So we call that search engine optimization, or SEO. And so the first thing that you definitely need to do is take control of your name. And I see Anne says, however, my Google page is gone. Well, let's create an appointment with me and let's take a look at that together. Could be a variety of reasons why that happened. But yeah, just make an appointment with me and we'll take a look at that. So the first thing you want to do is take control of your name. So one mistake that realtors make is they think that they have the opportunity to come up in the search results pages for a broad search term like, Newport Beach real estate or Los Angeles real estate. But unfortunately, you're up against the biggest of the biggest companies in the world, all the money in the world. That's not really some space that we can get into, right? So you're going to be up against, Coldwell Banker, you're going to be up against Remax, you're going to be up against all the biggest companies that do not just search engine optimization, but also They do all kinds of advertisements all over the internet. So what you do have the opportunity to do is take control of your name. So at least when people Google your name, you have that space completely under control, as we saw on those search results pages. The other thing that you can do is you can take advantage of small communities within cities. So a lot of agents, work farms, and a farm can be, a small community. It could be like Charles Barnes works a community called Lakeside. He works several different gated communities and small communities, but that's how he markets himself, is by marketing the small community. And so people do Google the communities that they want to, move to, especially in large cities. They're like, I want to move to, Turtle Rock in Irvine, or I want to move to Woodbridge in Irvine, not just Irvine. So there's an opportunity to do some really good search engine optimization, and I do individual training on that, on how you can create content within your website that makes it so your website will pop up in the search results when people do specific community searches. So that's a really, really good way for us to take advantage of search engine optimization and not waste our time. So that's a really, really huge aspect of, search engine optimization for realtors. The other thing that we can do is we can, collect reviews from those third-party sites, put them on our website. And so everything is connected back to the website, but it does go back out to a trusted third-party site like Google, or like, Facebook, or, as we saw, Zillow. So what I want you guys to do is, I'm going to put this in the replay, is I want you to go out and to make sure that you put your information on as many business directories as possible. And these are free. Almost all of them are free. You can stay away from the ones that cost money, but this link is going to give you a list of 50 local business directories. And so the more information that you have that's correct, that's congruent, the names equal, phone numbers, email address, all of it says the exact same thing. That is what we call citation authority, and that helps your SEO as well. So I'm going to make sure that everybody has this, and these are really, really, fun and easy things to do. And I've got a little shortened list of those top 25 business directories right here as well. So let's see if Bill cites. We can bring Bill back on the line and see if we have fixed his. Oh, nope. Looks like we've lost Bill. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that this goes out to everybody in the replay. And if you have questions, of course, you can contact me. And I hope everybody gets out there and makes it a great week and a productive week. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the webinar next week. Thanks a lot.